do too.
So you two were born in southern Georgia and spent most of your, well, you, Gloria, your whole adult life, and Mom until you were what, 50, 40 something, you moved down to New Mexico?
Yeah, I lived in Brunswick and Jacksonville and Folkestone. All my people was there.
So your growing up days, you didn't move away from the South until you were way into an adulthood. So both of y'all know that one of the big topics in the country right now is what's going on race-wise. You know, there's a whole lot of stuff regarding race that people are talking about today. But I recognize y'all were born in the early and middle 1940s, and when you became teenagers in the 1950s, segregation was going on in the South, and racism
coming to an end then.
Okay, but racism was at its all-time high when y'all, well, other than slavery. But I want to get your memories of what you remember at that time, what it was like being a teenager, how that made y'all feel, and what you witnessed during these times.
You want to go first?
Oh, yes. We didn't, we was always strictly whites in our school. And when I was coming up, you know, everybody was white. Everybody was white. And then when they started integrating, you know, it still didn't bother me. I didn't like some of the things that the Ku Klux Klan done. I did not like that at all. Even as a child, I knew that's not right to treat the black people like that.
We had a mother,
Yeah,
a Christian mother,
a Christian
that kept
mother.
us straight, that
Yeah.
God loved them just
Yeah.
like He loved us.
That's right.
And that's where where my father was racist, very racist.
Yes,
And,
that he was.
I didn't know my grandmother was until I talked on the porch we had one day. But the whole, are you through?
Tell me about what you
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
tell me about what you saw your grandmother do.
We were sitting on the front porch and on Jacksonville, Florida. We had big white rocking chairs on this old mansion. It used to be at one time, and they fixed it up, and it was a beautiful home. And we were sitting on the front porch, and this elderly black lady come walking by with her hair tied up and taking her groceries home, and just walking along. And Grandma said, "Look at there. She thinks she's just as good as anybody." And I'd never heard her say anything like that. And I said, "Well, Grandma, she is. She's not hurting nobody." I said, "She's just taking her groceries home." Well, at the time, the Black Panthers was fighting for civil rights and stuff, and it was all over the TVs. And she says, "Well, you just wait. One day they're going to be marrying and marry white and black and everything, then you'll see. You'll see." Oh, well, she was right. That's exactly what happened. But I'd never heard Grandma talk that way, talk down, because she wasn't doing anything, just going home. But if it wasn't for a black woman, my mom, Daddy couldn't have made it. Grandma could not feed Daddy, but there was a black woman that worked for them that was feeding her baby, so she fed Daddy, because Grandma's milk had dried up. He was fed and kept alive by a black woman. And this is something they didn't like to talk about too much, but I know because I heard it. And they thought they used her like a cow, is what they did. Instead of, I don't know if they ever thanked her for what she did for Daddy, but Grandma had 7 children, and Daddy was the baby. And she was in her 40s. He was a change of life baby, they called him. And she got childbirth fever or something. She got sick. Anyway, she had no milk for Daddy. But that black wet nurse fed my father. And you would think that there would be some kind of thankfulness there. I never heard that. I didn't hear that out of them. Matter of fact, they didn't care to talk about it. But
before we continue the video, I just want to discuss on the few things that the granny said. You know, it is obvious that they were at the peak of racism. When I say peak, whereby there was segregation, where a white person sits, a black person dare not try to do that he or she wants to sit there, you know. And there's something that she said that is actually very, touching that. Um, a granny, because she was sick, she had lost a breast milk and she couldn't feed her son. She had 7 children, and the last one, who happened to be the father of this granny that was speaking, she said that the black woman that they had, the black nurse that they have that is taking care of them, was the one that was feeding the baby the milk. So they didn't say that, oh, she's black, let her not feed the baby. Guys, can you relate with that? They didn't say because you are black, don't feed our baby. Because they understand that the baby needs to take milk, she needs to suck milk, and the mother does not have. The next person that had milk was a black woman. Even at the level of racism at that time, they didn't say, oh, the black breast shouldn't give the baby the milk. They didn't say that. So you can see that all of these things is a deliberate attempt to just, you know, change the narratives of the black, make the black feel inferior and all that. But let's continue to watch the video, and I'll be right back. Just watch everything, and then I'll come back at the concluding part to summarize, and I'll be waiting for you also to note and give your perspective on what the woman has said and how racism was going at that time. Thank you for watching. Thank you for staying tuned. Let's continue. Credit belongs to original creator of this video, and I'll be right back.
Matter of fact, they didn't care to talk about it, but she kept Daddy alive with her milk.
Tell me what it was like going out to dinner, going to the movies.
You take the
Okay,
theater.
where we lived in Buxton, Georgia, they had a theater. And it was like, I remember
Small
his name
town.
and everything. He was a very nice man. The blacks had to sit up in the top, and the whites sit in the bottom. And it never bothered me or anything.
Didn't think about
The
it.
only thing is one
It was
night-
just so common. Y'all really just didn't think anything.
No, because they didn't come down, and they got what they wanted and go up, and and they had their own bathrooms and stuff, and it was just when the Ku Klux Klan came in one night. It was one Saturday night
At the movie theater?
No,
Oh, just-
they didn't go
Now,
in.
see,
They-
she's talking about something I don't know nothing about.
Okay, they was all dressed in the hoods and stuff, and
I never
because
saw
they
that.
said something about they didn't want him to ever said Kenny said, let the blacks start sitting down in
The movie
Wow.
theater owner was going to do that, and
well, they had heard something about that anyway, and all the Ku Klux Klan. Anyway, Irma, I think, then went shot to move to the roller rink that night, and so I wanted to go see, but I hadn't seen the movie. They have a movie changed every 2 weeks or something like that. So, and Mom said, well, I'd rather she not go up there tonight if there's going to be any trouble. And Daddy said, oh, there won't be no trouble. He said, I'll be up there with her. And we got there, there was Ku Klux Klans everywhere. And he said, I'll make sure she ain't gonna get hurt or nothing. Anyway, people come in and they started hollering at them or something. Anyway, the police come up there and made them leave. And we went in and watched the movie and everything. Come back out, couldn't see nothing nowhere. But after that, they did integrate. And as far as I know, I've never heard of any problems after that. But I think he kind of woke the people work. See in a small town, and you knew some of these men with these hoods on, and it kind of just faded right on out, But I don't know of any of them ever getting hurt or beat or anything.
what were their, like, do you remember ever seeing what their bathrooms were like, their drinking fountains?
Oh yeah. All right, now.
I never went upstairs.
No,
was
but this
talking
is in Cresces. I was in Cresces with Mama, and I know you were probably somewhere just looking around. But this little black boy went up to the fountain, and he was real small. They had the black, and they had one over to the side of white only. And he could not reach. He knew to go to the black one, you know. And this woman that worked there, he went and pulled on her and says, "Ma'am, could you help me get some water?" And she said, she looked down at him like he was the scum of the earth and said, "Go get your black mammy to help you."
And this is just a little boy.
The little boy.
Just a thirsty
and the
little
look on
boy.
his face was devastating. I remember that. And the bathrooms, the black bathroom and the white bathroom, you couldn't hardly stand to go past it. Nobody cleaned the black bathroom. But the white bathroom always smelled better. You know, I mean, it was like clean. And there's so many things. I saw how they were treated. Like she was talking about the theater. The woman that done our popcorn and drinks, she take care of all the white kids first. They were standing in a line outside the window, on the sidewalk. They didn't come in where we were. They stood on a line outside the window. And when everybody was going out, she'd raise that window, and they'd hand her their money and tell them and she'd act like it was dirty, just like that. I remember how she looked. I was a teenager when all this was going on. And they'd get there. It didn't matter if it rained, cold, or anything. They stood out there to get their stuff. And then they'd go back upstairs with them. But, racism was running rampant.
Do you feel like how they're saying it is today compares to how it was then?
It's better today. We don't have all that kind of stuff. I mean, everything's open.
I differ. I mean, they have fought for their rights.
Yeah.
They have been the anger in the people. I understand the anger because they had been so mistreated for so long.
Mm-hmm.
They're being stopped by cops for no reason. Things like that.
Okay. Well, thank you for the history.
Also, I noticed that the granny said something that, I mean, they saw everything that was happening even as a teenager, but they were raised from a Christian home. You see that? Do you hear that? But even though they were raised from a Christian home, that means that our mother, our granny, they were all Christians. But that does not stop the granny from behaving in such a manner whenever she see a black person. I mean, you can remember when she said she saw a grand woman, beautiful lady that was walking, and she's like, "Oh, that's a black woman, blah blah." And she said some words, and they were like, "Oh, she didn't do anything. Granny, why are you talking about her that way?" And she was like, "Oh, don't worry. Very soon they'll start getting married to white people and all that." And she said, "Oh," she said that right, and of course, right now it's happening. You can see that the black and white interracial marriage has happened. It's happening already, and but at that time, that was what they were preventing. But right now, it is happening. They can't stop it anymore. And she also said that the black folks have been able to fight for their right. That it has reduced, but she admitted that it is still existing, that it didn't start today, that it started at their time, even before that time, because she was just a teenager. That is around 1950. She was a teenager and she was seeing everything. So the whole essence of this video is to educate everybody, to let everybody be informed of the reality of the times that we are in, even though it has reduced, but it's still existing. And we need to educate our sons, our daughters, so that they know exactly when they are going out, they are not put down, they are not made to feel inferior or not self-sufficient. You know, that's the rhetorics. They want to believe that they are more superior than they are more superior than us, than the black. But we all know now that it is not true. It is a lie. And what is painful to me the most whenever I'm talking about the story of the black is the fact that, you know, the black folks, we've dominated the world 800 years, Europe and all that. We never asked anybody to be a slave, we didn't treat anybody like you are inferior to us. It shows that the black people have a good heart. We just live and let live. Everybody was having a good time and nobody tried to bring anybody down. But they can't live like that. They can't. It's so unfortunate. But having said that, majority of white folks are actually very good. Especially the younger generation that are just coming up, they don't believe all of that. I mean, a lot of them are speaking against the rhetorics. that has been existing, and they are speaking it loud. And I mean, you can see I've done several videos. Even you can go ahead and search. A lot of them are saying they are not in support of it. They are good against it vehemently, and they are unapologetic about it. But having said that, you must educate your children. Let them know the reality they will face when they go out there. It has reduced, but it is still existing. The granny said, I mean, police just go and arrest them anyhow. They profile them. The granny said that. Is this still happening today? I leave you to answer that. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for staying tuned. And if you love this great content, please subscribe, like, and share. Let this video go viral. Let people know that what we're discussing today, what we're fighting up against today, didn't start today. It has been existing. And these grannies, they admitted that it has been existing. This is the battle that the white folks have been fighting, and they're still fighting it today, even though it has reduced. Thank you guys for watching. Please stay in peace, stay in love, avoid trouble. You are too important, and make sure that you be a voice in your own generation. Until I come your way again, bye bye.